So I found this old church north of Dauphin. Pretty sad in here, eh? Eerie almost. So there's the old church there. And up there against the highway is the old cemetery. I was just thinking how proud I am of myself, because when I come to these cemeteries, I know what religion is based on the way that they have the cross on the gate or the post or whatever. So I start to walk over to these graves and think, I wonder who I'm going to see on headstones over here. It's always interesting to see what Ukrainian families settled in each area. Oh, there's snakes everywhere here. Oh, I don't really like snakes. That's creepy. So this gravestone is probably one of the very first ones that's here. He was born in 1874. Wow. To think that they were here north of Dauphin, out here settling, homesteading back in 1874, eh? So now me and Red Dog are going to walk down this trail to this old homestead site. So at this old pioneer homestead, there's a pig barn, granary, orchard, ice house, chicken coop, and they have there's 10 buildings, and they have still a working clay oven. And this is supposedly totally kept in condition and is the most complete and best preserved Ukrainian farmstead in Canada. So this will be really interesting. I've never been here before. Reading about this barn here has no metal parts in it whatsoever. That's interesting. So this is inside one of the granaries here. Wow. Really interesting. This chart here says assessment roll information for the Pioneer Homestead 1901 to 1930. All kinds of information on there showing their land and their taxes. So this is inside the bunkhouse. Isn't that interesting? Look at the old broom. This was where they said the boys slept. Pretty neat. So this is a barn built in 1908. This building here is called an ice house, and it was for storing meats and vegetables, cheese, eggs. They cut ice from the river in the winter, put it in the pit that was dug in the ice house and covered with sawdust or straw, kept all their meats and preserves well into the warmer months of the summer. Isn't that interesting? Lots of people on my Snapchat knows what this is. It's pretty interesting. Just let you have a look inside. So this is the house. It was built in 1899. They raised 12 kids, and the 2 children continued to live here until the 1990s. According to traditional methods, they never had electricity, water, or telephone lines. Wow, isn't that something, hey? I now have a favorite new church. Look at her. Wow. So here's the interior. She's in pretty rough shape. I bet she was beautiful in her time though, huh? I just can't get over how much I love this old church that's totally falling apart. So glad I drove out here in the middle of nowhere to find it. She's a beauty. So this cemetery is just east of that old church, right next to this farmer's vineyard. So this grave here says twins, Marion and Morris, born 1944 in March, died in April. I can't say the last name, Cuipka. But these old graveyards are just full of young people, babies. This one over there is a baby. Lots of very young people in this cemetery here. Lots of them in their 20s. You know, I was just thinking here at this graveyard, it's very, very old. And lots of homesteaders, I'm sure, in here. And over here on the right, there's some bees. Then farmer's vineyard. He's got some nice John Deeres and a Bourgault. Just thinking, you know, if these homesteaders here knew this was the future of agriculture, wouldn't they be so shocked back in the early 1900s or late 1800s that that's the future of agriculture? Yet beekeeping is such an old tradition. Right here in the cemetery behind the two, there's another church here I just found too. So here's the next little church I'm going to go and have a look at. Here's inside that other old church. I bet it was really beautiful back in its time. So I was just thinking of if I was a homesteader and this was my church, just leaving church, walking on this nice wide platform here in front of the church, going out to the road, get in with my horses and buggy, go back to my farm here by Gilbert Plains. It's amazing when you visit these old places how your imagination can run wild. And it's such a beautiful fall day here today. Just love these old churches. I'm so glad I came to see these ones before their demise. And it just shows you how important unique religion was back in the day. Because there's the old Ukrainian church and then this church here right next to each other. I just want to stop and show you guys this beautiful soybean field with these two great big trees and the fall colors. Just driving down this road back towards Dauphin, and isn't it just so beautiful here? It's so hard to describe the beauty of Manitoba, but look at that. It's just a beautiful day here. So now I'm up here by Sifton, and I was just reading this grave, "Bud on earth to bloom in heaven," a girl that died when she was 13. Thought that was really beautiful. I found it here when I was looking at these two graves. They really stand out in the cemetery with the foliage planted between them. So beautiful, hey? So you can definitely tell this is a much different religion over here. And the graves are all facing to the sunset compared to over there, much older graves. And they're all facing pretty much to the sunrise. I was just looking at this one here. It's really beautiful. Look at the embroidery on the cross there. You know, one of the reasons I love to come to cemeteries is because they're so peaceful, but they're also such a really great way to see the history of the area and to understand more about the type of people that came here and built the country. So I'm just inside this old schoolhouse and they're cooking borscht here today. Look at all the old desks.
So you're just touring or what?
I'm just touring around and she told me to come in here and have a look.
Why not?
This really nice lady I just met here, she's gonna come and let me inside this house. Here they have. So get ready, these will be good snaps. Have a look here. This is the upstairs. And you notice the ceiling here has no insulation. Imagine what that was like for them in -40. They would have all huddled around this stovepipe. So this is the first Ukrainian Catholic church ever built in Canada. And it's in pretty nice shape, eh? Just had to share that with you. I'll show you the outside. What an awesome church. It's in excellent condition. 1898 originally from Mink River. Pretty neat, eh?